Squash XLPRO is an elite team that work hard to train, play and run squash events on our journey to climb the world rankings. Like, subscribe, comment, pick up some of our merch on Teespring.
Right, Rod Bannister on commentary at the moment. I'm just about to be joined by Joel Arscott in a minute. We've got Matty Nation, who is from SquashGym Palmerston North, currently domiciled in Wellington, where he's working at the moment, and TEMWA CHILESHE, who is part of the Unsquashable crew, Team CHILESHE, or with the team of lads that are travelling around the circuit at the moment, the pro-based boys. Matty started really well. First couple of points, obviously, but actually Joel, who's just joined me, hits a really nice ball, mate. He's actually a really nice player. Have you seen him play much?
No, it's the first I've seen of Matt Nation. But no, I saw him warm up for like 10 minutes there, having a little solo before he stepped on. He looked pretty crafty, pretty handy. But Temwa, he's a professional player, you know, so he'll be going about his business, not taking anyone for granted.
Absolutely. A bit of history on Matt. Matt was work-wise, he's high up in the Navy, so he's travelled around the world quite a bit. Been in places like Qatar and that, based and doing a lot of work with the obviously with the Navy and that. But now he's working more onshore and got a contract down in Wellington. But interesting story about Matt Nation, while we're on it, is that he went over to Canada, a year or two ago, and he played in the Masters Champs. He just actually went over there for work, Joel, at the time, and went over to the Masters Champs, and Masters there are over 30, right? And Matt was over 30.
So he doesn't look like he's
and he turned up and won it, right? So it's it's one of those stories where he turned up and he sort of ended up playing squash in Canada a bit by winning that Masters Champ. So, mate, great start from him. Just come out of the blocks really quick, raced out to 4-1. He's a dangerous player, mate. Compared to Alan, he moves really gracefully.
Yeah, he looks like quite a fit fellow as well. Light on his feet. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because watching him through COVID and that a bit, Matt, he spent a lot of time on the bike and actually mate, he loves what you're doing. He's got on the bike a lot, so he loves the bike. He was at university finishing off a master's degree or whatever he was, and waiting to pick up some work, and he got on the bike a heck of a lot. But he'll enjoy this. He's a fluid mover. He's got beautiful hands, and he always looks like, mate, he's sort of like really passive, but he's mate, he can play. Yeah, he can play. He's a smart guy. Again, I'm not quite sure if he's had many matches. But
yeah, that's definitely the theme we're seeing, isn't it? Yeah, people a little bit not match fit, sorry. And even I felt that yesterday playing Chris, but yeah, it's definitely the theme going into all these tournaments at the moment, especially for the slightly lower graded players.
So just chip the top of the tin there, Temwa. I just thought that was quite an interesting choice by Matt early in the first set, really trying to hit a roller from the forehand, which sort of indicates to me is that trying to steal a few points, which is pretty tough against you guys that play full time. You're going to have to do a bit of work to get a few points. So it's probably beneficial, as you say, Joel, if Matt would look to do pretty well in the first set, right?
Yeah. Again, just don't want to force it, really. There is openings there. You just have to be patient.
Look, Joel, just to talk about it a bit, mate, too, when you're not, as a player, when you're not quite 100% fit, and you've got to steal one or two games early, don't you, really? Stealing meaning you've probably got to get up in the first couple of games, right?
Yeah,
to have any opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'd think that's also Matt's sort of theory here, would you, without knowing Matt? Oh, that's not a bad crack. Without knowing Matt, he's going to have to look, and he's just having a go, isn't he?
You can already see it, yeah. Going short first, definitely.
So stealing, I always say stealing points, mate. But if it works, right? It looks great.
Yeah.
Interesting what Louis did there, mate. He when Matt Nation hit that ball into the nick there, the first thing Temwa did is he pointed to the wall, didn't he? Which means he probably needs to get the ball behind.
So it's refocusing and focusing on that target area. All very hard on ourselves, but Temwa, very much so hard on himself. If he doesn't hit that target, he's going to want to correct it.
So you know Tim a bit, mate. Obviously you guys do a heck of a lot of training together. You guys are bloody companions on the court. You travel around quite a bit.
Live together, yeah.
Live together, mate. Yep. Apart from that, you don't do much together. But talk a bit about Tim's game, mate. Did he end up third at Nats this year, Nationals?
He
third?
finished third.
Yep.
Beat Chris in the Chris Ranasam in the third and fourth playoff.
Chris was higher seeded, was he? Going into that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was actually.
Have you seen any developments? Obviously, you guys are close to each other all the time with regards to it. Have you seen it? That's trying to steal a point that didn't work.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, have you seen any developments in Tim's game over the last 6 months or so?
I think for Tim's, the big thing for him was just he's always had amazing shots, amazing racket skill, but he just had to build that consistency a little bit more in his game with a few more pressure sessions and just that physical intensity, taking that ball early instead of, or just also extending the rally as well. With that short game, he had a big tendency to try and pinch points or steal points, as you said, by going short. So
are you saying he's just built a bit more maturity in his game now?
To put it in simple terms, he's tried to become a little bit more of a grinder. You know what I mean?
Playing less junior squash? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry,
junior
and that's
squash.
not respectful.
No, it's a good way to put it, yeah.
Less junior squash?
Yeah, for sure. He's just trying to really, go across that bridge of junior to pro and building that maturity in his game. And he's definitely, trying to do that more and more. And you see, it's just like those little things. He's trying to lift his way out of pressure. He's picking the right times to counter, and that's been a huge shift for him.
Yeah, getting a couple of balls now, Joel. This is a real telling rally. I mean, even this early in the match, right? Against, again, an amateur player versus a pro. This is quite a telling rally for me. Even this early in the match, mate.
Yeah,
you want to come out on top with this one, wouldn't you?
It's that classic kind of 7-all, 8-7, those kind of rallies, where the intensity just lifts and the better player seems to edge it ever so slightly, and this is Temwa trying to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to build that bridge.
He knows that too, doesn't he? You can actually see he knows that.
And you can see him on that short game.
Oh, that's a great effort.
It's a good squeeze, to be fair. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It needed to happen.
But this is where it always
needed to happen.
This is where it always shines through. It's that backing up of these kind of points.
So 8-all in the first. Massive point for Nation for me. Massive point.
But again, as I said, you trying to back up those points. That is where the bridge between professional and amateur is seen. And textbook stuff, he just tried to force it after that big long rally, feeling the fatigue.
Incredible, isn't it? So you'd normally think you'd try and back that up again, wouldn't you? You'd normally try and back that up instead of steal. It's good. It's good squeeze by
You can say
Tim.
it's experience. You can say it's whatever, but it's also just having that knowledge to know when to push that extra gear.
Oh, good ball. That's a great ball.
Good counter work though. Last 2 points.
9-all in the first. Nation hanging in there. Yeah, look, Joel, is there anything you've seen watching Matt Nation at the moment you've seen him for the first time, so I'll stay out of it. Well, is there anything you see that you like about his game? Obviously, it's the first set, but what do you like about his game so far?
He's a crafty little player. He definitely seems to have plenty of shots. But he's picking his punches very well, and a little bit of fortune there. But definitely his counter work and taking that ball in is pretty good. His movement again. I haven't seen him really challenged on a movement to the front yet. From Temwa, but he just seems to read the game very well, to be honest.
Yeah, look. For me, mate, he's also what you call there, Joel.
Definitely, it's just a let.
Just a let.
Yeah, cleared out of the way. It wasn't too loose. But I love watching players that make the game look easy.
Yeah, and he does, doesn't he?
He does have that thing about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, nice player. And oh goodness.
Great length though from Tim.
Yeah, great length. And that's it again, Joel. Half an opening, mate. Simple. I'm not going to say a simple shot to the back. Actually, 3/4 pace length.
Yep.
Gone. Didn't try and overhit it, did he?
Half volley as well. Yeah.
Yep. Didn't try and overhit it. Oh no, didn't.
So, big point here now.
Oh wow.
10-all we have it as.
A lot of counter punching here, isn't it? Very, very similar sort of, if I'm saying patterns, but I think Tim will enjoy this too. Somebody shooting, won't he? He'll actually enjoy this. Somebody else having a crack.
Yeah. So possible 12-10 or 11-9.
Yeah, 12-10 first set. 12-10 first set. So how would you be feeling if your nation after that set? What when you're coming off, you're obviously heaving a bit, under the pump a bit. What are you thinking? Where are you at?
There's positives. There's two ways to look at it. If you're being objective, you say, hey, I had a crack and I didn't really have much of a game plan, but I got pushed them to 12-10, you know. If you're going into, you know, personal thoughts, you'd think, you know, hell, that really hurt, blah, blah, and blah. So I think if he was objective with himself, he'd, you know, back himself a little bit more in the second set and really look to do the same thing and push on harder again through that middle ground.
I hate to say it, mate, and we sound like we're doing cliche stuff, aren't we, when we're talking about these sort of... Look, I'm going to say it again against the guys that are training full-time, obviously, and obviously Matt Nation's an A1 player, so he's a pretty handy player. Plays a pretty good A1 game, but my call is going to be, I just think the intensity is going to fall off and it's going to drop off in the third. That's just my call, and respectfully again to Matt Nation, it's just that difference between, you know, the hours, the grind, the effort to being pro, and
just lifting that base level
and being an A1 amateur. That's for me.
Yeah. Nonetheless, one love to Temwa. Be back very shortly.
Rightio, 1-0 to Temwa, 12-10 in the first. Really good matchup actually. And I think we had a quick chat there, Joel, sort of off air or off commentary, whatever you want to call it. And what's your take on Matt Nation in the first set? So what were you expecting, or if anything, and what are your thoughts on Matt as a player?
Yeah, I think he has that skill or talent, shall I say, to make the game look relatively effortless. Even if the shot quality or what he's doing, he's out of position or blah blah and blah, he has that ability to make the game look good, and he reads the game very well. So he certainly wasn't the character I was expecting to see, but I'm pleasantly surprised and impressed so far, and it's good to watch. It's a good contest so far. You know, Tim were taking that first game 12-10, so it's interesting to see what he can come up with in this set. If he can make more inroads, or if the wheels fall off.
Yeah, he is. Look, he mightn't look at either Joel and his demeanour in that too. But like most squashies that hit a pretty good ball, mate, he's got that underlying really competitive edge on him though. You know, doesn't like losing. You know, so got a bit of that innate competitiveness in us.
He's
like
also quite reserved, isn't he? Doesn't express too much on the court as well, which is a good thing to have on a squash court.
Yeah, and he's obviously got to play really well to sort of squeeze points. What's your call there?
I think it's given as a stroke. It's a little bit soft, but I think he read that, or maybe a let. But I would have given that a let regardless.
So coming into this event, you guys, I always say you guys because you're all trained together and work together as a squad. You guys, did you do much after Nats, Joel? Did you sort of back off a bit, or?
Yeah, I had about 2 or 3 days off after Nats, which actually that might not sound like a lot, but it was a lot for us at the time with that training block beforehand. So yeah, we eased off a bit. Knowing we had this trip in the back of our minds, we maintained. And then obviously after this, it's just we're sort of in holiday mode. So for us as a squad, it's just about keeping professional through the last tournament, and then letting ourselves relax afterwards.
Okay. Now I'm not going to go off topic. I'm going on topic because you made it a topic. Calves.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. I've just had a look at Tim's actually because they're quite shiny at the moment. It's obviously quite warm on court, about 30 degrees, I'd say. So they're massive. They're actually massive.
I brought it up because I was pleasantly surprised again, or impressed. Yeah, Alan Bailey. Those calves, right? Genuinely impressive.
Crazy.
Not much of a quad game, compared to Thames. Okay, Thames has got the calves. I think he might have them in the calf department. Not comfortably, but he might have them. But he definitely has them in the glute and quad department.
I think it's the glute's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, that's
but what I'm looking at here is that but he's more the physique too. So it's more the overall physique. Why I noticed Alan's actually, or Bailey's when you brought it out, is right, because it's like a bit of an imbalanced physique, if that's the right way to put it.
That 400 meter kind of runner. They got that lean. They're very bottom heavy with their calves and that kind of thing. Whereas Temwa, if you didn't know Temwa, you saw him in the street, you would not say squash player, would you? You'd say powerlifter, rugby player.
Powerlifter eater.
Yeah, powerlifter eater. Yeah,
enjoys a good feed.
Yeah, definitely. He does too.
I know. Actually, it was noted the other day when you guys at my home club the other day, mate. The first thing Tim asked for when he came off from coaching was what?
What's for dinner?
Just straight into food.
Yeah, straight into it.
I think he saw you boys had a bit of food and. Yeah, so bit of off-court stuff with Tim. Loves a meal.
Oh, mate.
Not shy. Not shy.
What I say a snack.
Yeah.
Because it's not a normal snack. It's a snack.
Okay.
It's a meal. But he has about 8 meals a day. Okay. It's really impressive.
Yeah. It's impressive.
But it's the way he enjoys it. Yeah. I've never seen someone eat food the way he eats it. Yeah. Paul Cole goes on about it with Campbell Grayson and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
And if he got a look at Temwa, he'd be shocked.
Campbell got set up a lot in those sort of scenes, though, didn't he? Poor bugger.
Good humour.
I know, good humour. So back to here, it's 7-4. Tim sort of got a 3-point gap.
Yeah.
Few niggly little let calls.
I think it's
here.
what you were talking about. Is that kind of separation that starts to happen with that intensity that just bridges that gap even more over time between the sort of amateur player and the pro. And you see it with high ranked pros and low ranked pros. Even at the top level, 30 ranked players in the world versus top 5. It's that intensity and that pace and accuracy over a long period of time, because that's what brings it out. And that's what we're seeing here, 8-4 now. So yeah, I think Matt needs to either dig something up, bring the kitchen sink out, or...
It's interesting too, because I haven't really... I don't... Look, there's one thing I am noticing with Matt just watching this rally, but apart from his movement, is that he's just got a bit looser, mate. As you know, when you're a bit fresher, they're going in a bit better, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're going in a bit better. He's a bit shorter, he's a bit looser,
yeah.
and his legs are getting a bit heavier.
What you want to try not to do is avoid taking risks when you feel like that, because then the game can run away very quickly. And you see it there, he's trying to take the pace off, but he just needs to try and focus on his targets. That's the number one thing when you're feeling the pressure.
But out of character for Temwa there, he just chopped one into the tin, right? Just chopped one into the tin.
Yeah, it was a little bit too close to his body there, but he tried to get.
But what I'm gonna defend with Matt, Giants, because you guys play all the time, right? So you guys have got high step. But what I am impressed with, mate, he's not going away.
Yeah,
just like Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Just not going away.
Yeah, he's crafted another one in there, straight 6'8",
so he's got back to 2. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him. He hasn't really bent over or anything like that massively after rally, so he might be feeling it physically, but he's doing his best to hide it, which is noticeable from out here.
Well, he's really up for it. Oh, that's not a great shot.
Well, that's what you can't afford. That's what you can't afford.
It's one of those shots he played then, Joel, that boast that when you play it, you shouldn't have played it, right?
Yep.
Like that habitual boast.
Yeah.
Just a habitual boast. Not really a working boast. Just a habitual boast. Got into trouble.
Yeah, we've all got our bad habits on the squash court, but these things...
and off it.
And off, of course, but...
9-6 in the second. Temwa up 1-love. Good little battle. Matt Nation's given a good account of himself. Local boy, another local boy, Palmy boy. Yeah, it's a great squeeze.
Too good.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, we're talking up a storm, Joel. It'd be great if some people could put some comments up, what they think of the game, anything they know about the players, what they've seen in front of them. Give us some comments where you're watching from. Hey, there's got to be a few of our mates out there watching.
Get that engagement up, eh?
Get that engagement up. So next we've got, I believe, Zach Miller versus Finn Trimble. So we'll take a quick break in between sets and we'll be back soon. Right, Matt Nation, local squash gym player, currently based down in Wellington for work, versus TEMWA CHILESHE, one of the pros here at our PSA Summer Open in Palmy. 2-love to TEMWA. Having said that, Joel, you're quite impressed with Matt Nation, given a really good account of himself.
Yeah, so far so good for him. I think the wheels haven't really come off yet from what I've seen. You know, he's keeping his head and getting really stuck into Thames, which is great to see. Good contest, yeah.
Yeah, good contest.
We see this a lot though in professional squash, don't you? I know this that Matt's not a professional, but what you often see is, you know, it could be 3-love, but it could be, you know, 60, 70 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because if you were here and you were watching the game, you know, the boys are doing a bit of work. I mean, obviously Maddie is too, and he wrong bus totally there. I see the kids, it's quite funny, mate. This is how old I am now, Joel. They say Uber. They say Uber. My era is taxi, right? Yeah, but the kids say Uber.
No, I was in the taxi era through juniors.
No, I'm telling you.
Uber, it doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No. Well, I don't know, mate. The kids probably think it does.
So an early guess there from Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I've never...
Not a good sign.
But not early, like early.
Yeah, first rally, isn't it?
Literally, I'm just going to run that way. Oh.
Down, yeah.
Oh, on top of the turn.
That stayed deceivingly short there.
Okay, so interesting signs.
Letting the arm go, I guess. Textbook stuff though, isn't it? I mean, if we're honest. You see this all the time. When a top player's playing a lower ranked player, and that separation or that pressure, whatever you want to call it, just mounts and mounts and mounts. And
I quite like that word, separation. You know, I'm gonna copy and paste that one. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah. No
separation, good word.
No,
you obviously learnt that yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
Your word.
My word, and
good on you, mate.
My theme.
Claim it. Yeah.
But often, you know, even at the top level, it might seem so simple. It might look simple, but the players don't feel that way. They feel the pressure differently, obviously, when you're on there. So it's very easy to be critical off court and say, well, he just needs to do this, that, and the other thing. But what I don't see is all the training that is going on behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely, the dirty dirties, right?
Yeah, and
the dirty dirties.
If you were to talk training time difference between these two each week, I know. It's probably, you know, just ridiculous, the amount of hours.
The other thing is too, Joel, the other thing is coming from Matt's side, you know, like the amateur side, the amateur player. It's interesting because it's like, if you think about it, 2 more balls coming back every rally, add them up, right?
And that's what I'm saying.
So just 2 balls every rally.
That's what builds that separation over that time of a match. And
we saw 2 rallies ago, Tim didn't really put a great ball back, but he got it back. Got into position, Matt pulled the trigger, missed his target, and then Tim's onto it again. So just getting confident, getting 2 more balls back, and it's really showing now, isn't it? There's a bit of a drop off, and there's a bit of a drop off in Matt's intensity and target area.
You know, squash they say it's 90% mental, 80% mental, whatever you want to call it, but confidence. You know, confidence is a huge thing. We see him forcing the shot there, but you know, Matt's made a couple of errors and Timwa's got a quick lead, and then you just see the momentum shifting right now. Anything can happen on the squash court, and it seems so simple from out here, but what's going on through the players' heads is a totally different story.
Nice bit of banter between the lads here too. Good to see. Good bit of banter between the boys.
Yeah.
It's good hold by Matt. Yeah, good. It's working. It's the old Aussie working boast.
Probably could have chipped that one straight there from Thames.
Oh, there's a bit of work in this. Those couple of boasts are going to hurt.
Yeah. See those lunges just slowing up ever so slightly. Yeah.
Just going to hurt. It's good ball, good squeeze. Yeah.
Good finish.
Look, I'm going to say it again, Joel. 2-6 to 5-6, mate. I'm going to give a little bit of a rap for Matt Nation here. It's a pretty gutsy effort, mate. Really, pretty gutsy effort.
Yeah, it's not like things have just come off either. It's kind of just from his gradual pressure and input, and not tapping out.
A la Mo El Shabaghi, eh?
Mo El Shabaghi or Kareem Abdul-Gawad?
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two.
More Shabaghi on the forehand, right?
Yeah,
what a great shot.
Gawad's on the backhand.
What a great shot.
He'll be loving us saying that, the Thames, that's for sure.
That's a great shot. Yeah.
Another error though from Matt.
Yeah, but interesting, just when it counts, able to pull away again into a 2-point gap, right? Just able to pull away when he needs to. Not good enough. Yeah. So match ball. Interesting, he got up to 5-6 now. It's 5 match balls. Chileshe 2-love up. 10-5 match ball. And that's game, set, match. 3-love to TEMWA CHILESHE. He moves into the next round. Bloody good contest that. Joel, if you can...